Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another video, and that means it's Tuesdays, so that means it's going to be a league change, and we're going to be getting a Master League along with, I believe it's Galarian, let's see, whatever league it is, it's the one I'm not doing. Halloween Cup Little Edition, which I've seen is very expensive for a league that's only going to be around for 1 week, or I guess it's for 2 weeks, but it's also the only time it's going to be around, basically. So I'm not going to go into that. I've already got some Master League Mon. I don't have the Origin Form Dialga, Origin Form Palkia, but there's other teams out there, and we're going to be going over those teams today. Let's go into it real quick, but first, if you haven't, definitely hit the subscribe button, and let's go. Top teams. All right, so I pulled these teams from Twitter. We're going to be going over the 4 best teams. There was actually 5 on the list, but I totally disagreed with one, so I just X'd it out. So, all right, it's going to be Landorus Theron form with... sorry. It's going to be Landorus Theron form with Zacian and Xerneas in the backline, so basically double fairy backline, but neither of them has Charm, something to note. Also, I believe they ran specifically Wild Charge and Play Rough on the Zacian. I personally like Close Combat, but I get why. I usually do run Zacian in the front for my old team. So if it's in the back, I guess Play Rough's going to be wanting what you're going to be wanting to go for. Some things to note on this is we're ABB weak to Necrozma, meaning that we're weak in the back to Necrozma, considering we have 2 fairy types against a steel type, but we were very strong against it in the front with Lando. Also, a lot of moves in our backline are hard-hitting debuff moves, so they're the hardest-hitting moves in the game, basically, but they come at a cost, right? So we're going to lose 2 times defense if we're going to be throwing Wild Charge, Close Combat, or on either of them on here in the back. So another thing to note, and I said this the last time Master League was around, but I'll say it again since this is about to be the start of it again, is Landorus Theron form, while it has been debuffed or nerfed since this since Max Out season started because Mudshot got nerfed, it's actually still just fine. Its typing is just so good that it really is going to pressure a lot of Mon in this cup, and it is specifically good against things like, well, let's go over. It's good against things that you wouldn't think, like Zacian, where you're not really going to hit it for too much, especially if you're running the Wild Charge Close Combat set. It's become a little worse against Yveltal, but it's perfectly fine to run into it. Stone Edge is not going to KO it. You're not going to get KO'd by wait, what's the move called? It's I know, Oblivion Wing. Woof. All right, you got past it. Anyways, let's go over the core breakers here. Specifically are going to be Tapu Bulu, which technically I think we saw a lot of the last time Master League was around, and Kyogre, which you're seeing obviously less and less considering Surf got nerfed, or rather it got changed. It does a little bit more damage, but it costs a little bit more as well, so it's harder to get to, or it takes a little longer to get to. Whereas on Kyogre, we liked Waterfall because it was a hard-hitting move, but didn't give the most energy. And now it's going to be just a little bit longer to get to that Surf when we really liked throwing those quick Surfs into people after 5 Waterfalls. In saying that, I think Kyogre is also still just fine to use, but there are much more Dragon types nowadays. Origin Form Palkia obviously hard walls Kyogre. It's a crazy matchup you don't want to get stuck into, and yeah, Origin Form Dialga has always been pretty good there too as well. All right, the next team. We did talk about Kyogre just now. It's going to be a Kyogre team here with Yveltal and Origin Form Dialga in the back. Again, if you don't have the Origin Forms, you can use the Altered Forms. I know I personally don't have either of the Origin Forms for Palkia or Dialga, so definitely didn't raid them when they were out, and I think it came out during one of the big Go events, maybe even Go Fest. I'm not 100% sure, and I didn't attend that event. So the weak link here is going to be Kyogre That's because of everything I just stated. Basically, Surf's going to take a long time to get to. It's a single type Mon. If you get trapped in with a Palkia, you're going to get freaking destroyed. They're going to get so much energy, and Origin Form Palkia is probably the best, if not one of the best, if not the best Mon in this cup. It has great coverage, has really good typing, and can hit you pretty hard with the dragon moves there. So Yveltal also could be a contender for the strongest Mon in this cup. Oh, I have the wrong Yveltal here. Let's get... All right, we're back with the editing. Yeah, Sucker Punch obviously was buffed pretty good amount here in this season, so definitely going to be using that version. And then I, again, like the Dark Pulse Oblivion Wing moveset more than the Focus Blast moveset. While that gives you a little bit more damage against steel types, I think it's actually just fine to go Sucker Punch and Dark Pulse into those same steel types. Necrozma is one of the main steel types. It's actually also part Psychic, so you're going to be doing super effective with the Dark type moves as well there. If you see Metagross, also that's a fine matchup. Yeah, those are the main steel types. I guess Melmetal could be in the way background, but you're not good in that matchup anyways, so might as well go the Dark Pulse route. All right. What are we weak to? We're actually going to be weak to Yveltal. Let's just... yeah, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the... Sucker Punch Yveltal is going to be pretty strong into this core. It's neutral against Kyogre and Dialga. And you can bait the Dialga into thinking that you're going for the Focus Blast. They'll probably shield. But the matchup's actually a lot better than it used to be against the Kyogre because they're not doing as much damage to you in the charge attack department. So you're actually just going to be doing much better than it used to be in that matchup. And again, it's not Snarl on the Yveltal there. It's going to be Sucker Punch. All right, the third team here is going to be Necrozma in the front with Dawnwings in the front with Kyogre and Palkia. Origin form in the back. So again, if you don't have the origin form, you can definitely go for the altered form. It's going to be weaker. You don't have access to Spatial Rend, but you do have access to a big hitting dragon move anyways. So this team's obviously ABB with 2 water types in the back. There aren't really that many electric in this meta as far as just pure anti-water, but there are a lot of dragons, and dragons are going to be good against both of these. If it's dragon on dragon, Palkia is fine. It's going to do okay, but obviously Kyogre is going to be weak to the dragon, which is why we have Steel in the front, and Sun Steel Strike is just a massive hard-hitting move. Your safe swap on this team is going to be Palkia. Again, some of the dragon types are going to be big hitters against this team, especially the ones that let's just say shield correctly, I guess, against the Necrozma. It's not the most bulky Mon in this league, and it can get Dragon Breathed with a substantial amount of damage against it. Yveltal seems fine into this team as well. That's something to note. But yeah, I put 2 dragon types here. One you don't see that much, the Zekrom, but I remember the last time I played in Master League, and we saw so much Zygarde that it's crazy. And it does have Crunch, which is going to be super effective against the Necrozma as well, considering it's also a Psychic type. And then we'll go on to the last team here. It's going to be Origin Form Palkia with Zacian in the back and Necrozma Dawnwings. So this is kind of just 3 of the strongest Mon in this cup. I think the weakest one in this bunch is going to be Zacian, but it gives you the most versatility as well with the Play Rough and Wild Charge moveset. And then, interesting to note, this is a Snarl version that I believe Victor Zhao made this team. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, so interesting. Going to get to those moves a lot quicker. I guess really just trying to take shields and then maybe trying to finish with Spatial Rend or Sunsteel Strike. The Zacian coverage, again, is just really nice here. Play Rough, Wild Charge, and then you don't have to debuff if you don't want to run the close combat moveset there. Even with Palkia in the lead, there is a big weakness here to ground. If especially ground that's 2 shielding through Palkia, or you just have a bad lead into ground typings in the back, because the ground, again, we went over it with Landorus Theron form, but it's actually pretty good against Zacian in a general sense. And then if you come out of that with energy, you're really going to be able to hit down the Palkia with a lot of energy there. And then, yeah, that can be tough. And then also Rhyperior was in the meta a lot as well last season, or last time Master League was around, which was this season. And I actually think Bulu's a little weird with this team as well. It's going to be pretty good against Palkia and Zacian, so that's something to look out for too. All right, and yeah, again, the core breaker is going to be kind of the ground types here, and while it's just tough to just go through the 2 shields in the front, even if these are in the front, because you're going to get Sandstorm Storm down, you're going to get Breaking Swipe, maybe even get that debuff. It can be tough. All right, that's going to be it for me on this video. Again, I'm definitely going to be playing Master League this time around. I really don't want to make a bunch of Little Cup Mon that are only going to be around for like 2 weeks and then never use them again. Or maybe I will use them again in 4 seasons, because that's how long it takes to come back to Halloween Cup. Yeah, 12 months, so I'd rather not do that. Anyways, thank you for watching this video, and if you haven't, definitely hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video, and if you want to continue to support me, definitely click that subscribe button. You'll see any content coming out, and if you want another video on this same league for some more tips and tricks to other teams, check that video out right there, and I'll see you in the next one.